All right, a customer brought in this Anvil pump. It's a submersible pump that has stopped pumping. And we use these kind of pumps to move cooling water through stills. And this one looks like it has perhaps, not sure the treatment that this guy's received, but it is not turning any longer. So there's only one thing to do, and that's to break it open and see what's going on. So first thing, let's take this off of here. It is, this thing keeps the chunks out of it, out of the pump. So, and then the next step, if I can even get to these, there are 4 screws. All right, it's coming out a little bit. There's just enough thread that I can get just the tiniest bite. Well, it's not going to turn because there's a shaft. It's running through there. It's interfering, so I can't just spin it out of the way. So let me struggle with this a little bit more. Ah! Whew, that's a keeper. I have no idea how I got that out, but there she is. Okay, so all right, so this is a mag drive. So this would be the part of the motor which is available to, to the environment. So there would be magnets inside of the housing that are sealed and spinning. And when they are spinning, then they work, they actuate this, the impeller, which causes it to spin and push water through the this housing and then out to the pump. So yeah, there's a little bit of crud here. So, but this doesn't appear to be too, it could use some cleaning, but it's not terrible. And let's see if it spins on the shaft. Putting it on backwards. So the shaft isn't the problem. So it's spinning, and then this little guy here just retains, just keeper. So this part of the show works. So I don't see a problem here. So that means that the problem is probably inside this housing. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to plug it in and see if this thing will spin. And if it will not spin, then we've got to somehow get inside of here. And it looks like, probably based on the condition of the screws, there's probably been some corrosive intrusion into this surmounting, and that's probably not going to be a happy story. So let me plug this in and see if this thing will go round and round. So I went and plugged it into the wall, and let me just show you. So through the modern convenience of the extension cord, I have brought the Pixies to us. So I don't know if this is going to pick up, but if you see smoke, comment. So there's a very faint whine after I smack it against the table. So let me show you what that looks like with the rotor hanging out. Geez. All right, so that's definitely some pump-like behavior. So it works, but it needs to overcome that initial resistance, hence the whacking that's required to get it to spin. But once it gets going, it seems to work. So I noticed inside of here, and I know there's probably no way you can see that, but there's a fair amount of shmoo and a fair amount of crud inside of there. So I'm going to take a paper towel or something and try to clean that goop out of there. Yeah, this thing is, I don't know what they were pumping with it, but yuck. So it's not pretty, but it is. It might just function. So which one of these did I round out? So that's trash. Shaft has a little corrosion, but not bad. And then the little retainer. So pretty simple little operation here. So that, once the screws are installed, should be a functional pump. Let's just plug her in. So the noise seems like it's off balance. When you spin it on the shaft, I don't know. So I think what it's probably doing is this is probably hitting the surrounding material, and it should kind of hover in the middle. So it makes too much noise, but it's kind of doing that pumpy thing, and I need it to do the pumpy thing. So let's slam some screws back in this and see if it'll perform under load. Okay, so we're missing our stripped out screw. Don't care. This is a submersible pump. If it leaks through here, so what? So the fluid is going to enter through here, get caught in the impeller, and get ejected out the top. And it's going to make a fair amount of racket. If you have any suggestions on how to make it to where that there's not that vibration in the shaft, or generally how to make it better, I'm curious. What would you do if this were you? But let's go see if this thing will function under load. All right, here's the job. So we have fresh squeezed milk, straight from a cow. Good and plenty hot, and we're trying to cool it down. To cool it down, I want to move the water around the jars to cool them down rapidly. So what I want to do is take our submersible pump and then shove it in here just to move the water around so that I don't have to. So before we go, the most important part, of course, is this guard, you know, because we don't want to suck one of the jars through the pump. Nothing. Oh! All right. It works. It ain't pretty, but it's moving water. So let's leave this in here. This is going to cool down the moo juice. So there we go. The inside of an Anvil submersible pump. Kind of a rattly. It's kind of janky. Cooling down our moo juice, moving our water around. That's all we needed it to do. So if you have any suggestions on how to make this less bad, hit me up, let me know, share in the comments, and thanks for watching, and you have a wonderful day. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.